Good morning. This meeting of the Blair County Board of Commissioners will come to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent reflection, after which we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicole, can you do a roll call for us? Those joining us.
Potentially. If you can hear us on the phone, it's *4 to unmute. And if you could state your name. Anyone?
Hello?
Okay. Who do we have on the phone?
If you can hear me, it's Allison.
Allison, can you hear us?
Hey, Allison, this is Helen Schmidt. Hey, Helen. Hi. Is there a meeting today? There is. I think we're trying to get connected.
How do I fix this?
Somebody across the hall.
Ladies, can you hear me from here? Okay, I'm not getting the phone audio, so let me play with that for a little bit. Thanks, Allison. I'm actually going to hang up this phone and then call back in, so you guys should be fine.
It's kind of like starting on blue jeans all over again as
Yeah.
we
If someone could
conquer the new
sing and dance right now, that'd be great.
Welcome to Zoom.
Intermission.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
technology.
You have not entered any numbers. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. Please enter the meeting password followed by pound. You are in the meeting now. There are 3 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded. You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Allison and Helen, can you both hear me?
You are unmuted.
Allison and Helen, can you hear me now?
Yep. Yes, I can hear you.
Yay! Okay, we gotcha.
Wonderful.
All right, we just got to the roll call part, which I think we have down pat now,
Super.
and we are good to proceed.
Item 5 on your agenda shows the schedule of upcoming meetings for the week ahead. We'll move to item 6, and commissioners received drafts of the minutes for the meetings of August 15th and 17th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. They are approved. Move on to public comment at this time. Right, hearing none. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Webster.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know we have completed the insurance requirements for the therapy dogs again for this year. So if there are any departments out there, I'd heard that the courts were interested in using the dogs and children and youth, and a couple of those. If anybody is interested in using them, just get in touch with me, and I will put you in touch with the folks that handle that program. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Webster. Commissioner Burke?
Since we just got an email on this topic, I will let everyone know we do have a couple West Nile virus positive mosquitoes in the area. I know one of the main things is to make sure we don't have standing water sitting around and try to prevent, additional mosquitoes. So just to be aware of that and monitor yourself for symptoms if you've received mosquito bites.
Thank you. That's something I wanted to share. Last week, Pennsylvania's Independent Fiscal Office released a research brief that estimated the 2021 property tax burden by county. The IFO defined the property tax burden as a ratio. The numerator was the property taxes paid, and the denominator would be the total income. And the burden just was the idea of representing countywide an average and reflect all property taxes paid by homeowners, by renters, landlords, and business owners. And property taxes included both current year and delinquent school district, county, and municipal taxes, so it was essentially all property taxes. Then counties were ranked from the highest ratio to the lowest. The average ratio statewide was 2.57% of income was paid in real estate taxes. Monroe County was the highest burden with 473, and Snyder County was the lowest at 151. Of the 66 counties ranked, Blair County came in at 61, with a tax burden ratio of 1.77%. And that means that Blair County's overall property tax burden was the 6th lowest in the Commonwealth. I think this speaks well for the school districts, the municipalities, and the county who are clearly working hard to keep property taxes here significantly lower than most of Pennsylvania. We'll move on. We have several proclamations this morning, and I'm going to take the first one, and this proclamation is for September as Recovery Month. It's nationally and also here in Blair County. Proclamation reads as follows. Whereas behavioral health is an essential part of one's personal welfare and overall well-being, and whereas prevention, education of substance use disorders work, treatment is effective, and people with these disorders can attain healthy lifestyles and achieve rewarding lives in recovery. By seeking help, those seeking recovery can embark on a new journey toward enhanced health and overall wellness. And whereas encouraging relatives and friends of individuals with substance abuse disorders to implement preventative measures, recognize signs of the problem, and guide those in need to the appropriate treatment and recovery support services. And whereas, according to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 2022, over 5,000 Pennsylvanians, and specifically in Blair County, 70 resident deaths were the result of an overdose. These individuals are relatives and friends within our community. We must continue to reach out to the communities and encourage those untreated to seek help. You are not alone. And whereas, in helping more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the County of Blair, Blair County Drug and Alcohol Partnerships, and Rise for Recovery, Blair County invite all residents of Blair County to participate in National Recovery Month. And now, therefore, the Board of Blair County Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 as National Recovery Month. Join the voices for recovery. Recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, every community. We encourage the citizens of Blair County to observe this month with lighting a purple light bulb on their porch or in their window in support of this year's Recovery Month. And I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Commissioner Webster, second.
Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're going to invite the Executive Director of Blair Drug and Alcohol Partnership, Judy Rosser, forward. And I believe we have someone from Rise for Recovery also. Great.
First of all, thank you, Commissioners, for the proclamation and also just bringing light to this issue in our community. We truly appreciate that. This is a treatable disease, and people do get well in their personal long-term recovery. I've been in 35 years, and so for me, it is a personal journey, but it's also been just a ministry for me to be part of this work in our community, and I'm truly blessed by that. I want to go ahead and introduce Reed, who will say a few things about recovery, and then I just want to highlight some of the activities we have, if that's okay.
Hello,
Good
my
morning.
name is Reed.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
I work with Judy at Blair Drug and Alcohol Partnerships. I'm what's called a recovery specialist, which means I'm an individual with a diagnosed substance use disorder who is also now a person in recovery. So I've done speaking before, and I found it's not super effective to talk about the addiction part of my life, more the recovery, right? But suffice to say, between the years of 17 to 27, substance use culminated in me destroying every meaningful relationship in my life and being in treatment multiple times, being unable to keep a job, spending about 1.5 years of my life incarcerated, and the consequences were very severe, right, as evidenced by those couple things I just listed. I moved to Blair County in 2015 to go to an inpatient treatment program because I was avoiding showing up at my probation officer for an appointment I had, right? So since I've moved here, I have given a genuine effort into understanding the different philosophies of recovery. And I was involved in a 12-step program today. I'm involved in something called SMART recovery. And what I've learned about myself is I have very immutable qualities that are not going to change, like core characteristics about myself, both positive and negative, where in the past I was unwilling to acknowledge those and work within the boundaries of who I was. So I kept getting really unhealthy results because I was trying to just remove substances from my life without addressing my really poor crisis management skills, of which I have very little, right? So now, like Judy mentioned, I work at Blair Drug and Alcohol Partnerships, and I'm a member. Something like that exists. I'm from Lancaster County. As far as I am aware, there is no Rise to Recovery type group. I don't believe they support Recovery Month at their county commissioner meetings, right? So this is all really fantastic stuff. And I've changed my life fundamentally as a direct result of engaging in the recovery process in such a manner that people who know me, not from Blair County but from Lancaster, are very reluctant to believe that I'm the same person, right? So that in itself is really affirming that this process is real, and I haven't done anything special or unique. What I've done, everyone has access to, and that is another reason why I am very invested in working in this field now. Personally, a change in my life. I have seen others who have adopted similar recovery philosophies that changed their life. And I am extremely grateful to be given the opportunity to now work in this field and meet new people and positively impact people, whereas for so long I was a very serious negative impact on the community in which I lived. So I'm grateful for that. And that is how the recovery process has worked for me today. So since 2015, I've been a person in recovery. I've never been able to say that I've had a meaningful, purpose-driven life for that period of time, even before substance use. So I'm extremely thankful for that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
He was very scared about talking in public. It's not one of his strengths, but you can see he's very eloquent when we talk about our journey. It's real and it's personal. And I thank Reed for taking that step and being willing to shed some light on the fact that we do recover. In Recovery Month, we have a lot of things planned here in Blair County. Of course, we had our walk and rally where we had over 350 years of recovery that showed up on that day. Over 150 people showed up for that walk, and then we had the rally here at the Commissioners have always been supportive of this work in our community. We want to thank you personally for approving lighting up the courthouse purple for the month of September. That is truly, we appreciate that visual support. We also have been lucky, the borough has also rallied around us. We're going to be hanging ribbons on the 31st, purple ribbons on all the meters, just to bring that visual to this issue again in our community. We have Recovery Advocacy Day at the Capitol, the 19th of September, and we're taking a bus this year. So if you're interested in going down there, We're promoting that right now to take a bus of people in recovery, family members, just community members who support this in our state. And then at the end of the month, we have Recovery Extravaganza, and that is an outreach day at Blair Drug and Alcohol Partnerships from 11 to 3. We hope people will come. There's going to be food, music, yard games, just a tumble bus for kids. We're trying to get other partners to bring some things for the kids, so we hope everyone will come out and support us on International Recovery Day. And again, thank you. And if you want a purple light bulb, we have them at our office and signage. Please come get them for free.
Would you like, can you come on back up? Why don't we get a picture with you? Or we'll move, it's going fine. It's just too easy. It's easy to do that stuff.
Us.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm on it. Thank you. Yes, we'll go
Super. Thank you. We have a second proclamation, and Commissioner Burke is going to share that with us at this time.
Thank you. This proclamation is in recognition of the 2023 Hunger Action Month. Whereas hunger and poverty are issues of vital concern in Blair County, where 11.1% of residents experience food insecurity. And whereas Blair County is committed to taking steps to combat hunger in every part of our community and to provide additional resources to those in need. And whereas Blair County is committed to working with Central Pennsylvania Food Bank and its partner agencies in educating people about the role and importance of food banks and food pantries in addressing hunger and raising awareness of the need to devote more resources and attention to hunger issues. And whereas Central Pennsylvania Food Bank and its partner agencies distributed over 2 million pounds of food in Blair County through their network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. And whereas the month of September has been designated Hunger Action Month in order to bring attention to food insecurity in our communities and to enlist the public in the fight to end hunger by taking action, including volunteer shifts, social media shares, and donations to ensure nobody has to make an impossible choice between food and other necessities like medicine, utilities, or childcare. And whereas food banks across the country, including Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, will host numerous events throughout the month of September to bring awareness and help end hunger in their local community. And now, therefore, we, the Blair County Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize September 2023 as Hunger Action Month in Blair County and call this observance to the attention of our citizens. And I would put this in the form of a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Webster, second.
Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved, and we'll be presenting that at some point in time to the local folks representing the recipients. The Central Pennsylvania Food Bank kind of is the opening warehouse that delivers down to the Salvation Army here, and we appreciate their work in this. We're on to item 10 in the consent agenda, and Nicole.
Thank you. Today's consent agenda for your consideration is resolution number 415. It's the payment of the following 4 warrant lists as outlined in your agenda in item A. That does include payment to Blair Community Action Agency in the total amount of $14,702.72. It's ratification of the 3 warrant lists as outlined in item B. It's ratification of total payroll for the check dated August 25th, 2023 in the total amount of $903,862.98. It's requesting approval for payment to the contractor's application for payment 2 received from John Clark on the Valley View Park Amphitheater project in the total amount of $75,550.68. It's a budget transfer in item E. F is an approval through ECMS submission estimate 1 Estimate 2, Estimate 3, and Estimate 4, as outlined on your agenda, received from Francis J. Palo. Expenses are 100% reimbursable through the roadmap project funding. Employments, resignations, retirements, and status changes as outlined in your agenda in item G, H, I, and J respectively.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Commissioner Webster, I will make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye with an abstention on the payment to Blair County Community Action Agency. So the consent agenda is approved. The abstention is noted. We'll move on to item 11, staff reports and special business, and we'll begin with Derek Blair from Blair Senior Services.
Hi, Blair Senior Services requesting approval for the submission of the Medical Assistance Transportation Program, the fourth quarter payment for April 1 through June 30 of 2023. We've seen a return of utilization of the program returning to more normal numbers post-COVID as those things begin to go down. We've also seen costs and things like that continue to rise, especially since it's transportation with the cost of fuel and so on, which has not gone back down to the pre-levels. It seems to continue to go up. And we're currently waiting, of course, on this year's allocation, not unusual as the state works through the budget issues for the new fiscal year.
Comments, questions? Yeah, I will say we discussed yesterday our administrative meeting. Commissioner Burke had brought up several things from Blair Senior Services Board, and we were saying there's very little, it's hard to think of other services provided by agencies in Blair County that touch as many people, aren't as important to many people in their life as the van service that you offer, simply because the rural nature of the county and the age demographic. And so we're greatly appreciative of the work, and so we likewise are hoping and advocating with you that the state fully funds the transportation program.
Thank you.
We'll take this to Thursday's business meeting then for approval.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And we'll step back to Blair Drug and Alcohol and Judy Rosser again.
Good morning again. Yes, this request is for authority for Nicole Hunter to be the, I guess it's, to be able to sign on behalf of you through the electronic system for the DUI grant that the county receives. That is for sobriety checkpoints and mobile awareness and safety, seatbelt safety and aggressive drivers. Grant that was submitted. It's in the process of being reviewed, and part of that process requires the county to accept that, which even though we manage it, it really is your grant, so you do have to have somebody from your office go in and accept it through the electronic system. And they do need something in writing to show that she has the authority to go in.
Questions?
I did have a question, and maybe Nathan and I can talk after the meeting. Because it's a grant of ours, are we also approving the grant and then authorizing me as the delegate? Or, because right now everything's written up as just basically the second half, the latter half of me being the delegate.
Can I clarify?
Yes.
You've already submitted the grant. I've already brought that here.
Oh,
in May.
okay. Okay,
Once it's
that's the
approved,
piece.
there will be an acceptance of the approval also. So once they award it, then I believe I come back here with the award, accepting all the conditions.
Okay.
And at that point, then you can go in. But what they needed right now before they awarded is that authority is what they're looking for. But we would have to come back with the award.
Was this paper signed before
Oh, yeah, it's every year.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, we
paper
didn't do
side though, in past years, we didn't do this, the electronic signature.
Yes, we did, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we work with
I can see
Nicole
it's taking almost-
on the process and stuff, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it always comes through here because she still has to have your authority
Yeah,
each year.
I just missed the May meetings
Yeah,
action first, so, good, good.
Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
clarification.
thank you.
We'll take up the Thursday's agenda. Item C.
That is me. So we are requesting approval for signature on the fiscal year 2022 state and local cybersecurity grant program agreement. This is allowing federal funds to be used for Commonwealth-provided intrusion detection services as well as co-fence security awareness services at no cost to the county. This is a requirement for the grant that the state received from the federal government. They do need to have an agreement between the county and the Commonwealth to get fully reimbursed for that grant. So we need to sign this. There is no cost to the county. We're not receiving any grant funds. We're not spending any money out on it. The Commonwealth has put monitors in place on our election equipment as well as some other things to help monitor for cybersecurity. And this is the agreement that allows that to happen.
Questions, comments? Thanks, Nicole. Move that on to Thursday as well and move to item D. And we have our Public Safety Director, Mark Taylor, here this morning. Good morning, Mark.
Filling in for Chris today. She's out on medical. Requesting approval of a quote received from All About Challenge Coins for the purchase of themed challenge coins for the 2023 Local Emergency Planning Commission Sarah Summit. The total amount is $778 to be paid with LEPC hazard material funds. There's no cost to the county on this. This comes from the sponsorships for the Sarah Summit, the different business and industries. The committee decided to challenge coins was something they might want to make an annual event as the primary giveaway. Basically just, to reinforce the importance of emergency management. Sarah Summit's really shaping up to be great so far. I just checked, we have 146 people already registered. A lot of the Blair County stakeholders are planning to attend, and we've got some great events. We've got, she's going to do the drug and alcohol presentation with reference to the fentanyl and some of the new problems we have. Got a lithium battery presentation, dangers with those. We've got a Stop the Bleed program. We've got threat assessment. Should be really, truly good Sarah Summit. So I appreciate your approval of that.
Questions for Mark?
Mark, can you plug the date in there so everybody knows when the Sarah
September
Summit
28th.
is? Yep, there you go.
Which is a Thursday.
Yes, it's at the convention center.
Commissioners have already planned to cancel that Thursday meeting as long as there's no major agenda items. So we're tentatively scheduled to attend. So
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
One of the things that we always look at when we're spending funds is not only where it comes from, because basically any money comes based from the taxpayers, whether it went to the federal government or the state government first and then came back to us or not. And of course, LEPC funds come through one of those routes. So my concern is when you look at the purpose of the LEPC and the funding, it's to have these trainings. And I just want to know how these coins would advance the purposes of the LEPC.
We've always had a giveaway as long as we've had Sarah Summits. It's the business and industry that put the money into this. They like to see that people leaving there receive something for taking it. It's kind of an incentive them to continue to come back each year.
So are you saying that the funds do not come from the actual LEPC?
They do not. They do not come from the
from-
LEPC. These come from the sponsorships. It comes from Sheets and from WL Grace and from UPMC and different places like that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Commissioners.
Other questions? We'll move them on to Thursdays.
Oh, can I just comment? We had another item come through that wasn't, I think it wasn't an agenda item because of just the way it was being presented, but Attorney Karn reminded me that the MOU for the LEPC, I think, is coming up, so we just wanted to make sure that that was being reviewed and in process to come in a timely manner. hazmat team.
All the
You
has,
said?
yes,
Yeah.
it is, the contract, it is. We're reviewing that
Okay,
now.
thank you.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Take
Thanks,
care.
Commissioner Burt. Okay. Move on to item E then, children, youth, and families, and Mindy Hoskell.
Morning.
Good morning.
So today we're requesting approval for submission of a proposed fiscal year 23-24 implementation plan and the fiscal year 24-25 Blair County Children, Youth, and Families Needs-Based Plan and Budget Narrative to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So the narrative is due to the state by this Friday, but the dollar amounts that support the narrative aren't due until September 15th. So the numbers listed below, the dollar amounts are not completely accurate yet.
They're
Okay.
kind of good estimates at this point.
They are, yep. About 3/4 of the way done, if not more. So it's pretty close. We're getting there, but just the narrative needs to be submitted by Friday.
And we received the narrative, actually, I think, middle of last week, so we
Yes.
had some time to look at it. Does anyone have any questions for Mindy?
Good to go?
I will comment.
Go ahead.
Comment as opposed to question. I did want to just announce here, because I think it has been publicly advertised, that the public meeting to discuss the narrative and budget is this Friday at 1 p.m. in conference room 2B. So that's our public meeting where stakeholders can come and hear more about the plans and needs for next year. And then I did also want to just commend Mindy and the finance department that's been assisting too with getting this done. The state did give us an extension, but I think this is the first time since I've been here that we have been not rushing to meet the deadlines that were provided in the extension. So we're really seeing a lot of improvement with the fiscal side of the agency. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good to go.
Do you
Do you want to take that to, I guess from on Mindy's perspective, are you okay if we approve it on Thursday, even though the deadline is Friday? You feel comfortable with that for submission? Okay, good. Thank you. That's all I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, and by the way, I did see that was in yesterday's Mirror, in the legal ad, so we're hoping to pay Kay's salary here. We move on now to the prison and the health services agreement with Prime Care, and Deputy Warden Weitzel joins us. Good morning.
Good morning. Requesting approval for comprehensive healthcare services agreement between the County of Blair and Prime Care Medical to provide mental health, dental, medical, and related health care services to the inmate patient population at the Blair County Prison, in addition to the services of an additional full-time licensed clinical social worker added by the amendment to the 2022 contract for the period of 3 years concluding July 31st, 2026. The county may elect up to 2 additional one-year option periods concluding July 31st, 2027 and July 31st, 2028, respectively, at the rates based on the inmate population of 350 starting August 1st, 2023. The annual rate is $2,197,285.92, with a monthly rate of $183,107.16. Per diem, $2. The reverse per diem of $1 should be applied when the facility's population falls below 350 inmates.
We're not going to kill the messenger.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, agreed. We knew this was coming. It is sticker shock, though. It's
is.
Essentially, it's a 46% increase from the budget for 2023. It's almost $695,000 essentially. And if you put the amount that we will pay projected under the contract for prison medical care, for inmate medical care next year, it amounts to over 6% of the tax of all total real estate tax revenue the county collects. It's a huge piece of it, and we understand the inflation that's in health services. I serve on a hospital board. I know how tough it is, and what's happened to the pricing, and particularly of staffing, because the prison Prime Care essentially is paying like travelers, like many of the hospitals and medical centers have to. Which are, it's just extremely expensive. The one thing, and we've discussed it as a board, we met with Senator Casey earlier this year discussed it. I discussed it just 2 weeks ago with Congressman Joyce. Is the thing that's frustrating to us and I think to all counties across the country is the fact that when an individual is incarcerated, they lose their medical assistance, and many of your folks you're taking care of, in fact, were on medical assistance. They lose that regardless of, this is before they have a trial, before there's any guilt determined, before there's any, sentence set or anything else. They take that away, and that is at a huge cost to county taxpayers, every county across the nation that does that. And it's, and people say, well, maybe what's paid by taxes one way or the other. Well, I think the big difference is Prime Care obviously gets us, a discount price. They're a large provider. Essentially, they're almost the only provider in Pennsylvania that does this. But nobody's as big a provider as medical assistance is nationwide. They drive prices, talk to any health care institution or provider, they'll tell you that it's the Medicare and Medicaid prices that bankrupt them because it's so low because cost. So it still would be cheaper for the taxpayer, considerably cheaper, if Medicaid picked them up and kept them on rather than paying for them this way. And there's nothing you can do about it, and we can only advocate for it. It's in Washington, D.C. that the administration and the Congress need to make the changes that they need to make, that are only right, frankly. I think it's wrong to take those benefits personally away from somebody who is innocent.
Particularly when they have not
it
had
is. It
trials.
just seems.
Well, I think it's clear that no one who's out committing crime does so and thinks, oh, I shouldn't do this because I'll lose my medical coverage. Like, that's not the thought process at all for literally anyone. So I think that's a fair point. And I mean, the fact that they're not sentenced and haven't been found guilty under our Constitution really is, it's just unconscionable. So again, we can only advocate.
And I look out at our finance director and finance manager sitting there and saying, hey, this is a 6%, we need 6% more in tax revenue, the equivalent of 6% more in tax revenue to cover that. Now I realize that's, if you work on the budget, that's a very difficult thing and difficult in terms of recommendation, but that's the quandary that we face going forward. So, it's our meeting, so we can rant. and y'all have to listen. So we'll take that to Thursday's meeting. Thank you, Deputy Warden.
And just on top of what you're saying, Bruce, if you connect that to the report you were giving us at the beginning of the meeting as to the fact that we are ranked 61st in terms of the amount of taxes that we extract from our taxpayers, and then we face these kinds of increases, but yet have been able to keep our taxes low. It's it's quite a difficult endeavor, but it's been, we try to keep it going that way.
It's been difficult. But one thing that won't change the rent, every county in Pennsylvania and everywhere else that has a prison is facing the same issue. It's just tough time. Item G, I look at Chief Clerk Heminger on this one. Do you have any?
Gonna look
I was
right back at
anticipating the
you.
sheriff-
I was
sheriff was gonna
anticipating
be
the
here
sheriff
today.
as well. I don't know if you want to hold this to the meeting on Thursday
Yes,
and allow
let's
him
just-
to present then, or?
Let's just do that. Is that okay,
Perfect.
Commissioner? With you?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what
I think that we should.
Okay, thank you. We have no old business. We've reached the end of our agenda, and we're going to adjourn at this time. And thank everyone for their participation in today's meeting.